Hello, everybody. So I will speak about Baltoro, the second part of the project. It's good. But for the second part, we are going in Baltoro. For sure, we need a permission for that. And we decide to go in the middle of Baltoro, not at the beginning, but in the middle. So for that, we need to walk. And we have only 1 day of walk. It's maybe 20 kilometers only. And we take everything for 18 days. We were 6 for this project. We use a base camp. We put a tent for a long time, and we put the tent just before the ice of the glacier. So for the logistic, we use 2 cooks. For the logistic, it's important because it's not easy to manage for 20 days of food. And we can see the base camp here, just on the right of Julien. We can see a yellow tent. So when we arrived, we have to depose, to put the camp, and after we have to go in the mountain because we have no car, we have nothing, we have only to walk, and we have to go for the takeoff. We decide to go on this part of the mountain. It's 800 meters of walk, and we have to walk with a very big bag because every time we have to take some food, sometime a tent, sometime a sleeping bag also, because for rescue, if you land nowhere, maybe you have to walk 2 or 3 days. So we have all the time 30 kg in the bag, in between 25 or 30 kg. So it's a hard job because we are at 4,000 meters. And we have to do that every day. So you can see in the back, this is the start of the flight. We are in the middle of Baltoro. We have the broad peak. It's the first 8,000 meters. It's 40 kilometers in the back. And all the black part is the ice. It's the ice with rock, and the base camp is just on the right. And when we arrived on the place for takeoff, we have to clean the takeoff for the first time, and we try 3 takeoff. So we have to clean 3 takeoff, and it's important to go in very big altitude because at the first time we take off, for example, at 3,500 meters, but a lot of people bomb out because it's difficult. So we decide to take off at 4,000 meters. It's a good place. When you start for the Baltoro, you can see we have 40 kilometers of glacier. At the end of Baltoro, we have a lot of 8,000 meters. We have K2, Broad Peak, G4 is very close to 8,000, but it's not 8,000, and G1 or maybe G2, I don't see from here. It's also 8,000 meters. And we have to cross all the glacier, and it's difficult to have a landing because you can see we have ice and rock everywhere, and on the ground the rock is big. It's like a balloon of basketball, for example, so it's difficult to land in this place. But when you fly, you have a very good mountain, very beautiful mountain, like Trango Tower, like Broad Peak for sure. It's 8,000 meters. We have also K2, it's a famous mountain, it's 8,600 meters. Another picture of K2 with Guillaume. And this is the end of the glacier. The name of this place is Concordia. It's an important place because at the end of this part of the glacier, we have a place. The name is this mountain. It's Marble Peak, and at this moment, we have to decide: we go on the 8,000 meters or we are back, because we have to cross the valley, this big valley, and it's difficult to come back. So we need a big altitude on this mountain to go on the 8,000 meters. Another picture of Concordia. And it's very, for sure, it's very beautiful. And all the summits are close to 7,000 meters, and we have 8,000 meters. For example, you can see G1, it's 8,000 meters, but you can see the difference with other peak. It's not 8,000 meters, but everything is very high, so it's too beautiful. And we flow a lot of time very close to the glacier, because if you go in the back like that, we have a lot of snow, and with the snow, it's very difficult to catch a thermal. So we stay a lot of time in the middle of the glacier. And for example, this is the K2. And at this place, this is also Concordia. It's possible to land because we have snow, for example, here. And on the snow, it's easy to land. But after this part is the middle, it's difficult to land before, well, between the middle and the end of the glacier. And every day we back very late, but it's difficult because all the place to fly is southeast face. So when you are back, you have to come back before 5 o'clock, because after 5 o'clock it's difficult to catch a thermal. It's possible on the west face, but for us it was forbidden. We have a permit only for the east face, so it's difficult to find the timing, because on the broad peak it's the west face, so the thermal are late in the day and we are come back early in the day, so we have to find the good moment. It was the most difficult. Now we can speak about the flight, the record flight at 8,400 meters. The start of the day was very stable, and we were only two. I flew with Fabien Bull, and it was a very difficult day. You can see we stay in the middle of the mountain. It's not possible to go on the top. It works?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
The start of the day was very stable and difficult. It's why we stay a long time on the mountain, and the maximum altitude was very low for the moment. And when we arrived with Fabi close to the Trango Tower, and you can see we stay in low altitude in Trango Tower. We begin to be in the middle of the glacier, so we need a big altitude. And you can see if we don't catch a thermal now, we land in 5 minutes. So at this moment, it's possible to catch a thermal, and we go at 6,000 meters. This is the minimum altitude to go in the middle of Baltoro. And with 6,000, it's like nothing. You can see after one transition, I'm very low. So we know it's a stable day, and it's like the movie. We have no cloud, we have nothing. It's exactly the same. So we go, it's far away because it's 40 kilometers, and we go slowly, but we go. And at the end of the glacier on at the Marble Peak, we don't catch a thermal. It's very stable. We stay a long time, and it was his last day of the last flight of the trip. So we try to go on Broad Peak, but it's not possible. So we decide to come back and go to base camp. And okay, it's not possible today. So we go back. We go at home. And at this moment, we catch one thermal. It's 6,800 meters. So last chance. So we decide to go another time on Broad Peak, but it's the last moment. And I arrived in first on Broad Peak. It's also stable and it's difficult to fly. I try on the south face, but on the south face, I find nothing. You can see the track. Now I go, I find nothing, I come back. At this moment, Fabi go also on the south face, I find nothing. So I decide to try on the north face. And on the north face, I catch a small thermal, and after the small thermal, I can take just the dynamical wind, and with the dynamical wind, you can see I can go up very fast. At this moment, I was at 7,600 meters, something like that, but I feel bad, very bad. I have a bad moment with altitude. I have something like ant in my hand. It's difficult to see something because everything begin to be black. So I decide to stop the try, and I decide to down. And after 2 or 3 minutes, I feel better. So I decide to come back and try another time. And the second time was perfect. I have nothing. I feel very good. So I decide to try to go on the summit of Broad Peak. But at this moment, after 7,600 meters, it's only windy. It's 70 kilometers of wind, but it's totally smooth. It's easy, just I need to use my speed bar, but it's very easy. Just it's time to have fun and have a pleasure to be on the top of Broad Peak. It's a very good moment. It was windy, but at this altitude, the normal flight, it's maybe I fly at 60 kilometers, but with the speed bar, I can go at 85 kilometers. So 70, it's okay. But for example, at this moment, you can see the track, she do some movement. It's not normal. It's just because I use my my camera. My camera was in my leg. And when I move my camera, I don't use the speed bar. And at this moment, I go in back for sure. It's why I have some special things on the track. And at this moment, I was at 8,400 meters, but with the headwind, it was difficult. And you can see when I go when I cross the valley of Concordia, I arrived very low on the Marble Peak, and I lose 2,000 meters only in 5 kilometers. And after this moment, it was late. It's more than it's 4:30, and at this moment, I catch no thermal, just a small one here, and I have 40 kilometers to fly. It was difficult. I tried to catch a thermal, but we have nothing. But I take only one. I can take only 500 meters. It's not a lot, but I think it's possible to go on the base camp. And you can see on the ground, it's only ice, but I managed to go on the base camp. And I arrived just before the last moment. And it was a totally crazy day. This is the flight. Maybe Ed, you can.
We're just sitting here in awe and wonder. Edouard Boynegren has said the world needs a new superhero. Yeah, congratulations. Thank you for that presentation of your flight. It's amazing. What struck me about it was that it's all so finely timetabled. You only have about half an hour to get on the summit before you have to go. That sort of moment of about 4 o'clock, you have to be there before you turn. I think let's open it up to the floor and ask some questions. My question is, why do you not use oxygen?
Just because you see, we have to walk 800 meters every morning, and we have a very big bag, and for oxygen, it's 3-4 kg maybe. It's not easy, and it's the same in altitude. You have to put your pipe and everything. It's not easy to use. So the first time I had oxygen, but I didn't use. So I know it's possible to do that with no oxygen. And also before with François and all the team, we did a lot of alpinism on until 7,000 meters. I walk at 7,000 meters, so I'm ready for 8,000. So I prefer to not use oxygen.
So you're very, very well acclimatized. You're not a Superman.
Yes. This is a trip of 2 months. and not 20 days or something like that. And after 1 month, you are ready for that.
Yeah. Tom Sleepen is asking, did you have any damage due to frostbite? Did you get frostbite?
No, not this time. I have no frostbite. The first time, it's because I would like to do a movie, so I put out my glove. And this time, we changed the system. We have a big glove like that. It's heat glove. It's possible to have heat. We have battery for that. Put inside. So for this is a normal battery, and for this expedition, we have a very big battery. And we have no problem with that. So we use glove and big battery. And for rescue, we have a glove like a socket, but we have no problem with the glove, so we no need.
Okay.
And with that, it's okay, because with this battery, we have 8 hours of hot moments. So it's we have to charge every 2 days, so it's good.
Okay. Ria Muthathal, what was the reasoning behind not being given a permit to fly the west side of the valley?
I don't know why. At the beginning, we have we have the permission to go on the west face, but at the last moment, they call us and tell us it's not possible. But I don't know why.
Okay. Here's a question from Roberto Alberti. How do the wings behave in the thin air?
Antoine?
Yes.
So we've got a question from Roberto. How do the wings behave in very thin air at altitude?
It's the same. It's more speed. We have 20 kilometers more at 8,000 meters. We fly at 20 kilometers more, but everything is the same.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, François, about that?
Well, same. I will not say that. I think it's also easier to steal. You have less pressure, brake pressure, little bit less brake pressure. It's easier to stall, but it feels quite the same. But when you go for landing and for takeoff, then it's all different because you are so fast. Okay, when you fly, you have 20 kilometers more per hour. It's not a problem. But when it's about to land, it's a big difference. And with takeoff also. So flying is fine, but landing and taking off is another topic. It's really something demanding a lot. Unless you land down the valley, if you land at 2,000, it's fine. It's no problem.
I think this is a good question, actually, which we didn't touch on. For Antoine, please, how strong were the thermals during your flight? How long in Baltoro?
In Baltoro, it was not very strong. The conditions are strong. We have, because it was windy, so it's very difficult to control your glider, but the thermal are not strong. Maybe it's 3 or 4 meters per second maximum, but it's not the problem. Okay. The problem was the wind with the thermal. It's a mix. And when you go after the thermal, between the thermal and the wind, we have a difficult part. We have 200 meters, was totally crazy. It's not possible to do nothing. Well, you can do nothing. It's not possible to turn. I can just go straight and go on right, go on left, but it's not possible to turn because it was too strong, too difficult to control your glider. Yes, for me, it's same. To fly in Karimabad, it's easy. But just sometimes it's dangerous for the landing. If you land close to the river, it's easy. But the thermal are okay. It's like everywhere. If you fly in the Alps in July, it's same. So I think it's a good place to fly. But in Baltoro, it's totally different. You need a permission, and also the conditions are very strong, and you don't have a landing place, so it's difficult. But to fly in Unza Valley, it's a perfect place.
Perfect place. All right. Well, listen, thank you very much, both. Hugh, have you got anything to add?
I'd just like to say a massive thank you to you both and everyone for continuing to support the magazine. I think, yeah, you've really brought to life the front cover from the last issue in an incredible way. We couldn't have asked for more. Yeah, thank you so much. If everyone wants to unmute and clap, you're very welcome to do that in whatever style that you clap in, whether you're in Brazil and you've got maracas or you're wherever you are, just clap.